Alrighty, Bears fans, before we jump into today's show, I want to know, especially from you longtime locals in Chicago or in the area, what is your favorite pizza joint in Chicago? Are you a Lou Malnati's guy? I want to know what your favorite spot is, some hole-in-the-wall spots, some bigger spots, style of pizza. Let's hear it from you guys in the comments right now. This comment section better be flooded on today's show. You're watching Chicago Bears, and now I am your host, Harrison Graham. Hope everybody's having a great Thursday, just one day closer to the weekend as you guys get through your workday or school day for any of you youngins watching on today's show. Got some fresh rumors for you guys, so let's go ahead and jump on in. Rumor number one, could the Bears draft Jameson Williams with the number 39 pick? Yeah, pretty unlikely. I'll go one smoking J. Not that the Bears wouldn't be interested. I think they very much would be. He's an electric playmaking wide receiver, but chances of him falling to round two are very, very slim. Now, NFL Network listed Jameson Williams as a, quote, jackpot selection for Chicago if he fell to round two. He is recovering from a torn ACL that he suffered in January, spoke openly about that at Alabama's Pro Day, where he obviously did not work out. Expects to be running by the NFL draft in late April. But, again, injury or not, he is expected to be a first-round pick. Now, could he go in the 20s instead of the top 10 or 15 because of the injury? Yeah, I suppose that is possible. But if he falls to round two, the medicals must be pretty bad, and I don't expect that to be the case. This is an electric playmaker. This is why he's not going in the second round, I don't believe. 79 catches last year, almost 1,600 yards, 15 touchdowns, and almost 20 yards per catch. I think if he didn't have the injury, we'd be talking about Jameson Williams as wide receiver one in this draft because he's got what teams want: speed, explosiveness, yards after the catch, route running. He's got it all. He is the full package. Let's be honest, this would be a dream for Chicago and for Justin Fields if he was sitting there at number 39. If he's there at 39, I don't care who else is on the board. That is the selection because he's just that damn good. Like, he's got that much big play potential, and I think he would fit perfectly in Chicago. Unfortunately, like I've said a couple of times now, I fully expect him to be gone well before the Bears select at number 39. But if he's there, let's just hypothesize here. Would you draft him at 39 regardless of who else is there? Type Y for yes. Type in for no. We'll make this a pinned comment on today's video. I absolutely would draft Jameson Williams at 39 if he was available. Get your votes in right now. Y for yes, in for no. Would you draft Jameson Williams with the number 39 overall pick if he was still on the board? Now, there is more to this. There's a Fields connection. He played with Justin Fields at Ohio State from 2019 to 2020. Now, he ended up transferring to Bama because Ohio State had a ton of wide receiver talent that he kind of got lost in the shuffle. Ironically, Bama always has a ton of wide receiver talent, but he took his talents down there to Tuscaloosa, ended up breaking out, whereas he was kind of lost in the shuffle at Ohio State. So I wouldn't say that he's got the same chemistry with Fields as a Chris Olave or Garrett Wilson, for example, but they know each other and they know each other's games. Obviously, we continue to talk about it. Wide receiver is a position that the Bears need more punch at. You've got Darnell Mooney, who I think could ascend to that wide receiver one status this year. Byron Pringle ideally is a 3. If he has to be a 2, okay, but I would prefer him to be wide receiver 3. You definitely don't want Equanimous St. Brown to be your number 3. He's a 4 or a 5, if we're being completely honest, based on what he's done in his career. You plug in a guy like Jameson Williams, he becomes your second outside receiver. Pringle plays in the slot. Big play machine from Williams waiting to happen, and the 3 of those guys would be pretty darn good with one another. So, yes, obviously I agree with NFL Network. This would be a jackpot. But what does jackpot mean? You're unlikely to hit it, right? Like, you ever play slots, whether it's the real deal or just a game on your phone? How often do the 777s come up? Not very often at the end of the day. What is your favorite, or who is your favorite wide receiver prospect in this year's draft? I love Jameson Williams. I love the Ohio State kids and Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave. By the way, report coming out that those two guys are both going to go even higher than expected, so that pipe dream seems very unlikely. Let us know in the comments your favorite wide receiver prospect this year. Now, before we get to our next rumor here on today's show, we are also putting our videos on Rumble, plus some exclusive content. Go check us out for more Chicago Bears news and rumors as Bears Now continues to grow and expand. Link is down below, rumble.com/BearsNow. That is rumble.com/BearsNow. Link in the comments and in the description. Go check us out today. Okay, let's get to another receiver rumor around the Bears. How about trading for DK Metcalf? I'd say the odds are a little higher than getting Jameson Williams. I'll go two smoking Jays. People are talking, and there's enough buzz around Metcalf at this point that at least having the option to trade for him is at least a possibility, and that's why I'll throw it in the two smoking Jays kind of realm here. I wouldn't say it's a 50-50 chance, but I'd say there's at least a chance. Brad Spielberger of Pro Football Focus kind of proposed an idea of trading for DK Metcalf to get him to Chicago. Now, Seattle keeps using very curious wording when asked about Metcalf. Both John Schneider, their GM, and Pete Carroll, their head coach, said they, quote, intend to extend Metcalf, but they also said they don't intend to trade Russell Wilson, and they did. So I think if they got a good enough offer, and if DK wants to command a big contract, which he probably will since he's entering the final year of his rookie deal and has been great, then I think they would be open to the idea, considering Seattle probably won't be much contenders here in 2022. Here was Spielberger's idea. Curious what your thoughts are on it. DK Metcalf to the Bears for a second this year, number 39 overall, and a second next year. So you still keep your second this year, excuse me, and a third next year. A lot of people think you'd have to give up a first for Metcalf, but if Seattle's not going to re-sign him, maybe you don't. Maybe a couple of day two picks could get it done. What do you guys think? What would you do with this trade? Type T for trade, you would do it. Type K for keep the picks. You don't want to trade 2 seconds over the next couple of seasons. I would do this trade in a heartbeat. Let me know what you guys think down below. Like I said, if you don't have to give up a first, I'm in for DK Metcalf. I would even consider it. If they had a first this year, I would consider it, but they don't. I don't want to trade more future first because Ryan Pace did that too often. But a second this year and a second next year for Metcalf, you get him this year. Obviously, you would extend him at that point. Plenty of cap space for 2023 and beyond, so the money would not be an issue. This is a big play machine. I mean, we talk about Jameson Williams having that potential. DK Metcalf's already proven it through 3 seasons, 29 touchdowns. The catches and yards have been there. Last year a little bit of a dip, but that's because Russell Wilson got hurt, missed some time. I mean, this is a guy with good quarterback play that should give you 1,000 yards on the down end and 10 touchdowns. I mean, that's just the type of player he is. Metcalf, Mooney, Pringle in the slot. Yeah, that's fire flames, baby. That offense, that receiver trio would be really nice. Cole Kmet working the seam at the tight end position, running the football with Montgomery and Herbert. If Justin Fields takes the step and you have this type of trio at receiver, no excuses, man. You've got a lot at your disposal if that's the case. Make sure you guys subscribe here to Chicago Bears Now, youtube.com/Bears Now. We will continue to keep you guys in the loop with everything around this football team, more Bears news, rumors, draft, free agency. Got to unveil my mock draft tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Mock draft 3.0. We'll have you guys covered with more videos throughout the offseason. All right, how about signing Larry Ogunjobi after all? I think two smoking Jays. I think there's a real possibility here. We know the two sides are interested in one another. Polls in this team like Ogunjobi. I think Ogunjobi liked the idea of coming to Chicago. Now, is Ogunjobi pissed that the offer got pulled after he failed the physical? Maybe, but he also knows that that probably trimmed down a lot of his options when he failed that physical. He tweeted today, Ogunjobi did a couple of times. Every obstacle is just another opportunity for you to rise, and then stay tuned with the little fingers crossed emoji. By the way, both these tweets at about 5:15, 5:30 in the morning, which, number one, early bird gets the worm. Am I right, Larry? I was still snoozing, snoring, probably annoying my wife because I snore quite a bit. But the point being is he hasn't been tweeting much. All of a sudden he's tweeting now. We know Ryan Poles is still open to signing him. He said so. Now, he said there's been no dialogue since he had to pull the offer of the 3-year, $40.5 million contract that they initially agreed to on both sides. But if Ogunjobi isn't going to get a big deal from a team, which I don't think he will, 1-year deal, prove-it deal, maybe like $5 million base incentives to get an extra 3 or 4. I think that could be a win-win for both sides. If he proves it, you extend him or sign him to a long-term deal. If he's not that good, okay, well, no harm, no foul. It's not that big of a loss at the end of the day. What do you think? Should the Bears still go out and sign Larry Ogunjobi. Type S for sign him, type P for pass. If the price is right, if the deal is team-friendly, let's do it, man, because he is an impactful guy. I mean, this is why I was excited about bringing him in. Had 7 sackles. 7 sackles, wow. 7 sacks as an interior pass rusher last year, which is hard to find. There's only so many Chris Jones and Aaron Donalds out there. Larry Ogunjobi's kind of in that next tier. You brought in Justin Jones. You still need another defensive tackle. I don't know if you want Angelo Blackson starting there, Kairos Tonga. You don't have much beyond a couple of those guys in Justin Jones. You could put Jones, Ogunjobi as your starters. Blackson as a rotation guy is great. So is Tonga. He proved that last year. I don't know if either of those guys are starter worthy, though. I think the pairing of Jones and Ogunjobi could be pretty darn good. I think it would be pretty impactful on that defensive line. They need another defensive tackle. We'll see how they address it. All right, that's going to do it for us here on Chicago Bears Now. Remember, closing in on 3,000 followers on Instagram. Once we get there, we will cook up a fresh IG Live. So if you haven't followed me yet, be sure to do so. Slide in the DMs. Still got to catch up on a few, but I will do that. I've been doing that the past couple days. And Instagram Live Bears Now edition coming soon, where we answer all of your video questions and more questions in the chat. At HGramFL, we'll see you soon. Deuces.